Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine show presented by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal Credit Union is a proud supporter of Navy athletics, and I'm now joined by Navy sprint football star running back Hunter Gennicks. Hunter, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Hunter, I need to know how we feeling. Are you sore? 276 yards rushing. It was a career high for you back on Friday. How you feeling?
I feel great. You know, uh, the tackles didn't affect too much. We were running downhill a lot, so I didn't take any tremendous hits. So I'm feeling great. That we needed that momentum a lot, and having a great week of practice from it too.
I know you were a two-time All-State selection back in Indiana, but did you ever top 275 rushing yards in a game in high school?
I don't think I had 270 in high school. I went over two maybe once or twice, but never that many. No, so that was new territory.
It's also not the first time that you've gone over 230 this season alone for the mids. What has allowed you to have such a successful junior year?
We have a phenomenal offensive line, and not just our offensive line, but when we were in our two back set, Broderick Freeman blocking two does a phenomenal job. So really, all six of those guys are working their butts off every play, and doing everything we ask for them and highly executing. We went back on film and watched film on Sunday, and we only picked out two or three plays where one guy made a mistake. So those guys are executing at a high level each and every play, and then just dominating with their strength and tenacity and grit, and we're just getting it done and pounding the rock.
Hunter, one of your cheat codes is that you have to maintain 178 pounds, but you squat 555. How are you able to maximize your frame in the weight room?
Yeah, we've got a phenomenal strength and conditioning coach. Coach Josh Brown is incredible. He came on staff last spring and really changed the way that we do stuff. You're pulling numbers from way back in the day. I was a little heavier back in high school, but he's tailored everything to really like help us tremendously with our military stuff, but also just make us fast and explosive. And he understands the 178 rule and has created a way for us to really optimize all our gains in the weight room and put muscle on and lose fat and do everything very effectively. Um, I'm I'm a I don't know a cause of that, but so is everybody else on the team. Those guys that I mentioned a minute ago, our offensive line, they obviously struggle with the 178 stuff more than anybody. And Coach Brown has done a phenomenal job of getting those guys fast, explosive, and way stronger while keeping the weight down.
All right, so maybe your numbers now aren't as gaudy in the weight room, but what does optimal weightlifting look like to you? Your bench, your squat, and also your deadlift?
We don't do a ton of deadlifting, and really, like in season, we're power cleaning once a week, benching once a week, and then front squatting a little bit. So those numbers are a little different. In season we're more of like maintaining, not necessarily trying to max. And in the spring we don't really max a ton either, but we're getting effective weights moving every Tuesday and Thursday, and really getting after it. That 45 minutes that we spend in there every Tuesday and Thursday, guys are coming out there or coming out of the weight room headed to class just as sweaty as they would after practice or from the spring. So we take everything super seriously. Um, but like weights wise, I'm not doing anything crazy right now. Actually, I'm getting outlifted by our two younger running backs. I'm going to give a shout out to Wyatt Kite. He's an absolute stud. He makes me look like the freshman and him the upper class. So yeah, I'm having to step aside a little bit, but we're still getting after it.
As a junior and as a star player for this offense, how have you seen yourself take on a leadership role this year?
Yeah, it's been super special, and something I'm like very proud of is being able to kind of bring some of the younger guys under my wing and teach them, what I've learned these past couple years. And honestly, it makes me play a little bit harder knowing that I have to set the example and set the standard for what we want to uphold for those younger guys. I'm no longer just looking out for myself, but I've got to take care of, Wyatt and Moore and Brody are our three other running backs and set that example. And I run hard because I know that they're blocking hard. So it truly is special and something I'm very proud of.
What's his overall journey been like for you at Navy? I mean, you were initially recruited by the Big Boy football program, and playing with Sprint now. I mean, you went to visits a couple of times growing up in Annapolis. So, what has this been like for you?
Yeah, like I'll say like over Plebe summer, I was a little let down. I thought I was gonna have a walk-on opportunity. That was the dream growing up. I didn't really know about Sprint. I knew about it before I showed up for I-Day, but obviously like I was chasing that dream. I actually thought I was gonna be too heavy to even think about playing Sprint. And it's funny how God works because when I was checking in, I ran into the same TAD like three times who ended up being a sprint TAD, and he was like, "Hey, like you look like an athlete. You should come out for sprint football." I was like, maybe we'll see. And then I seen him two other times, and he was on me about it. And then I showed up for the first day of sports period, and he was my position coach. And so God's got a funny way of working, and it was all meant to be. Um, yeah, like I have no regrets, and wouldn't rather be on any team on the yard. Like these guys are my best friends. And yeah, they're truly special. The stuff from high school was a little lucky, but I never really got super recruited. But it's special the brotherhood and the connections that I have now.
That said, I gotta imagine for you, this is pretty fulfilling. The fact that you took a chance, you went out for Sprint, you didn't want to give up on football just yet, and you've become one of the preeminent players in this league.
Yeah, it really is. I was given that opportunity, and uh, I'm very close to my dad, and he was actually my football coach in high school, so we had a lot of talk about it. And he was like, "Go all in," and that's what I did, and I was so extremely grateful to kind of have him, his support and everything in the world that I was able, like, I felt like I was making the right decision, and then I went all in on it and haven't looked back since.
Your team is having another successful season. Molloy coming up next. How do you keep this train rolling?
Keep pounding the rock. We always say that our offensive success stems from us running the ball and getting it done on the ground. And as a running back, like I couldn't agree more. So that's what we're going to keep doing: establish a run game, get that pass game going, and then keep working together as a team, as a brotherhood, and uh, getting done what we need to get done, taking advantage of every day in practice, all the meetings, all the lifts. And I really think we're doing that. Keep taking steps forward. And Molloy's no different.
Hunter, two more for you first. How about that defense? Forced turnovers in that second half against Chestnut Hill. They completely flipped the switch.
Yeah, they were absolutely amazing. I was a little worried going into that game, not thinking our defense couldn't take care of the job, but Chestnut Hill had such an explosive offense. I mean, you've seen in that first half, their quarterback was escaping everything. He hadn't thrown any interceptions coming into the game that we were playing. I knew he was going to take care of the ball. He's a seasoned veteran. I think he was a 4-year starter. So I had a lot of respect for their offense. But I knew our defense was going to find a way to win, and they really did. They got a lot of pressure on him, forced him into making some mistakes, and then those forced fumbles. It drives me crazy every day in practice. They're pounding at the ball every time I'm running it and trying to strip it from me, and it makes me a better runner, and so I appreciate it. But man, it's annoying. But you can see the effects that has in the game of someone that's not prepared for it, because they were forcing those fumbles like that. They weren't giving us anything. All the fumbles that we got were truly forced by our defense, and they did an exceptional job of getting us the ball back and giving our offense an opportunity to go score. So yeah, it was awesome.
And lastly, what has it been like learning from your OC Chuck Abbott? I mean, he has a wealth of knowledge, not just of the game, but really of the sport as a whole and all of his different experiences in the game. What have you learned from him?
You know, uh, Coach Abbott's the man. Adding him to the staff was amazing. He popped in at the end of last season. We were a little um, weak on the, or not weak, but we we needed a whole field for the offensive coordinator. We had TADs calling our offense, and they did a great job with what they had. They just weren't seasoned like he was. So he came in and helped us out, and then his ability to help us all spring and be here all summer. He's a goofy guy. He loves to give jokes. He's got the same 4 jokes that he uses every practice, and we love him. But his depth of knowledge and his football IQ is beyond anything that we've had around. So having him and just being able to tag stuff and make little bitty variations to plays and formations that we have to just throw the defense for a loop has completely changed our offense and made us so much more dynamic and given all the athletes on the team an opportunity to make plays and really opening up our playbook and to be as effective as possible. He's really changed the way that we can run our offense and making it completely unpredictable for the defense.
I love it. Well, it certainly worked against Chestnut Hill in that second half. Hunter, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Best of luck the rest of the way this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You have been listening to the Navy Sports Magazine Show, presented by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal Credit Union is a proud supporter of Navy athletics.